Are you or your loved ones suffering from illnesses such as TDS, also known as Trump derangement syndrome? Do you dismiss or deny the current issues facing our country, such as historic inflation, illegal immigration, corporate corruption, World War III escalations, and the chronic disease epidemic? Are you willing to elect someone who was the least popular vice president in modern history, and who offers no policy or vision for America, simply because your brain keeps telling you anyone but Trump? If so, you might be struggling from TDS. Introducing Independence.
What is up, guys? Tyson De La Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. The Al Smith charity event was last night. Typically, both Republican and Democrat presidential nominees or candidates are invited to this particular event. But you already know who did not show up to this event. That is Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris declined the invitation to show up to the event, and instead she sent a video, a cringeworthy video that I'm not going to share on this video. If you want to check it out and you want to be mad or upset, you can do that, but not on this video. Shout out to everybody watching. Drop your comments down below. Smash the like button. I'm going to share some of the zingers from the Al Smith dinner, particularly from Donald Trump, a little bit from Jim Gaffigan. Jim Gaffigan is a comedian, but here is one of my favorite zingers.
Dudes for Harris. Have you seen this? White dudes. There's a group called White Dudes for Harris. Have you seen this? White Dudes for Harris. Anybody know? Are some of you here? White Dudes for Harris. Doesn't sound like it. But I'm not worried about them at all because their wives and their wives' lovers are all voting for me. Every one of those people is voting for me. There's a group.
The wives and the wives' lovers are all voting for me. That's what Donald Trump says. Oh, man. This one's another zinger. I'm going to share maybe like five zingers that I personally liked.
The fact is, we need new leadership in this country. Right now, we have someone in the White House who can barely talk, barely put together two coherent sentences, who seems to have mental faculties of a child, it's sad. There's a person that has nothing going, no intelligence whatsoever, but enough about Kamala Harris. Let's get on to something else. The fact
that was a good one. The other one that I really enjoyed is he actually went on to roast Tim Walz. He roasted Tim Walz a few times. And this is what he had to say about Tim Walz.
But unfortunately, Governor Walz isn't here himself, but don't worry, he'll say that he was. He's going to say he was. I used to think the Democrats were crazy for saying that men have periods, but then I met Tim Walz. But
oh, man. Oh, man. Now, Kamala Harris, again, was offered an invitation to this particular event. But as soon as it was announced several weeks ago, but specifically when it was announced at the charity event specifically, this is what occurred.
And while we're very sorry that Vice President Harris cannot make it here in person, we will be joined.
They booed her. They booed. Why? Why did she not show up? And why did she send a video? Either you do or you don't. You show up or you don't show up, but you don't send a video. You don't send a video. This is 10 minutes into the dinner. Here we go.
You know, this event has been referred to as the Catholic Met Gala. 22% of Americans identify as Catholic. Catholics will be a key demographic in every battleground state. I'm sorry, why is Vice President Harris not here? I mean, consider this. This is a room full of Catholics and Jews in New York City. This is a layup for the Democratic nominee. I mean, in her defense, I mean, she did find time to appear on The View, Howard Stern, Colbert, and the longtime staple of campaigning, the Call Her Daddy podcast. You know, this
the longtime staple of campaigning, the Call Her Daddy podcast. Oh, man. This was a good one. Now, I got to share this really quick before we jump into this video. Donald Trump's resilience. This guy just keeps getting up. He just keeps getting up and he keeps on going. He's been campaigning. He's been going on podcasts. He's been doing all the things. Mind you, after two attempted assassination attempts. And this guy is still rocking. That is resilience. That is leadership. I just got the goosebumps.
Tradition holds that I'm supposed to tell a few self-deprecating jokes this evening. So here it goes. Nope, I've got nothing. I've got nothing. There's nothing to say. I guess I just don't see the point of taking shots at myself when other people have been shooting at me for a hell of a long time and they shoot.
That's good. That is good. Oh, and if you guys didn't catch us on the live, we're going to be going live a lot for the remainder of the month up until the election. If you don't have your notifications turned on, or if you haven't subscribed yet, you know, if I earned your subscription, great. Kudos. I appreciate you. If you haven't liked the video yet, like the video. But we'll be going live for the remainder of the month, and we have a very good time in the chats, and we have a very good time on the lives. It is such a great group of people, and I'd love to have you join if you're open and willing to do that. So if you are, hit the subscribe button and then tap that notification bell, turn on everything. This was a funny one when he was talking about Mr. Schumer. A lot of people in the live were saying that Schumer looks like Mr. Burns from The Simpsons.
Chuck Schumer is here looking very glum. Doesn't he look glum? He looks glum. But look on the bright side, Chuck, considering how woke your party has become. If Kamala loses, you still have a chance to become the first woman president. Chuck.
Oh, man. Oh, man. This one was a good one about Gretchen Whitmer. If you guys have not seen there was a little TikTok about Gretchen Whitmer giving communion with a Dorito. It was kind of repulsive and disgusting, to say the least.
But I don't think Kamala has given up yet. She hasn't. Instead of attending tonight, she's in Michigan receiving communion from Gretchen Whitmer. That's not a pretty sight. But Catholics, please don't be too insulted by Kamala's absence. If the Democrats, he says, thank you very much, I appreciate it.
Receiving communion from Gretchen Whitmer. Oh, this was a good one. This was about illegal migrants taking over New York.
Well, I'd better wrap up because Mayor Adams told me earlier that I needed to make this one very quick, especially the city has reserved this room for a large group of illegal aliens coming in from Texas. That's right. They've reserved many rooms, a lot of rooms, too many rooms. Well, I'd better.
He had some good rippers. He did have some good rippers. He had this was a good one. This was a good one about the opener. Check this out.
The media has begun discussing the phenomena of secret Trump voters. I don't know if you've heard about this. People who publicly say they would never vote for Trump, but then when they go in the voting booth, they do. It's a small group. They're called the Biden family.
Shortly after the event, CNN did a quick roundtable about the event specifically, and I'd like to share that with you guys because I thought this was good as well. Because CNN sees the humanity in Donald Trump, and they're questioning why Kamala Harris did not show up. She's the first presidential candidate in a very long time to not show up to the Al Smith dinner. And the way she did show up with the video was incredibly disrespectful. So disrespectful, at least in my opinion.
Break it down. Brian Stelter, what did you make of this performance?
Oh, no, don't ask me first. I thought he was funny. I thought he actually got a few great jokes in. I thought the best moment was we talked about the assassination attempts and made light of what he's experienced, because I think he's experiencing real trauma, real PTSD as a result of the shootings, but he's still able to have a light moment in this room. And he took advantage of the fact that Kamala Harris wasn't there.
Which is
I
really
was
the
disappointed
subtext
that he
of this
kept
whole thing.
exactly that she didn't.
They're usually
attend.
supposed to be in the same room. Which
It
what
is
makes it
frustrating, though, that he will not pronounce her name correctly. It's not difficult. And he goes out of his way to insult her.
It is crazy to me that is still the topic. Kamala, Scamala, whatever, man. Dude, where's her policies? But he makes a good point. We'll get back to the video.
Her in a way that I think is racially tinged.
The fact that she's not there.
Racially tinged. What, bro? What? No, it's not.
Bomani, smart move, not so smart move. I mean, she put out this video in it, and actually they brought in like a real comedian to do the bit with her. But she could have done exactly what Trump did and roast him from the stage.
Yes, but let us stop and imagine the moment where this dude makes jokes about your husband's infidelity with his first wife, and you're just sitting there like, oh man, that was hilarious.
Well, you know what? I have to say, if you were watching, Jim Gaffigan, who was on right before Trump, made a joke about grab them by their with Melania Trump sitting right there.
Yeah.
She was not amused.
Well, I mean, the audacity of Trump to decide, like you would think some game recognized game would come up at that point. You're like, nah, I think we're gonna leave that joke out of here. I don't feel like I'm the person who could tell this. But it is difficult for me to listen to him joke right now because nothing feels funny. I could understand, like, if I were Kamala Harris, the signal I would want to give is, no, I really don't feel like sitting around and joking with this dude right now because I don't think he presents a lot to joke about at this point.
I also think that event, it used to be a good-natured, humored way to kind of take some levity into the campaign season, but I don't think it's like that anymore. And that would really be from the 2016 event with Hillary Clinton, where Donald Trump changed the whole tone of that event by attacking Hillary Clinton in that particular event. So I feel like he's the one that kind of changed the tone of that to begin with. And then it's a Catholic event where Kamala Harris is running very distinctly on returning the rights of Roe to people. And this is a group that really, really loves that those rights were taken from women in the country. So it feels like, you know what? She only started her campaign in July. He's been running for president since he was inaugurated in 2017. So he can take a break to make some jokes. She's working.
Well, look, she probably didn't think it mattered. I mean, most evangelicals, white Christian churchgoers, voted for Donald Trump. 59% Biden 49 or 59% Trump, Biden 40% in 2020. To your point, she's probably looking at this demographic and thinking, based upon my policy positions, they're likely not going to vote for me anyway. It's more expedient for me to be in Wisconsin, a state where she may or may not win. For Trump, I think it's important because a larger percent of Catholics don't vote. They're infrequent voters. So if he can turn out 4 or 5% of those voters in some of those swing states, that may make a difference for him in November.
Right, but sure, Michael, this was not an event for evangelical Christians. This is an event for Catholics. Biden won the Catholic vote in 2020, and Trump won the Catholic vote in 2016. So it is an immensely important population, especially in states like Pennsylvania. Huge Catholic population, huge ethnic Catholic population who respond to cultural Catholic things like talking about Catholic schools. That is an enormous, I am Catholic. It is a very, very deep part of our culture is our Catholic schools. They're constantly under budgetary issues and a lot are closing. This was a perfect time. She could have had a lot of smooth things and no one would have noticed if she may have gone, but people noticed that she wasn't there.
I'm an old fogey.
Yeah,
I want these traditions to continue. I want our institutions to thrive. And yet I find myself agreeing that there's nothing funny right now. I mean,
absolutely. There's nothing funny going on right now. And Trump says that in his speech. If you want to catch the entire speech, I'll place a link for the description of that entire event, not the entire event, but Trump's speech specifically. I'll place a link for that in the description below. But the individual made a very good point. You know, she didn't necessarily have to go, but people are recognizing that she didn't go. I thought all in all, totality, it was a very good event. Donald Trump dropped some zingers. He dropped some zingers. I thought it was great. Did you guys enjoy the zingers? Did you watch the full thing? If you haven't, check it out. But what did you think about it? Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button. Share, subscribe, guys. And as always, I'll catch you on the next one.